Today's episode of Running It Back is here. It's ready. It is new. A new guest to the show this week. We're going to talk all about it. My name is Patrick Ramirez. This is my show. I am a comedian right here in Los Angeles, and my channel, Running It Back on YouTube, has actually grown a little bit in the last month. New subscribers, more views. So if you are one of those people, I thank you. Welcome to the show. Like I said, I am a comedian here in Los Angeles, and if you want to see me doing live stand-up comedy, you can catch me at the Sanctuary in Pasadena, 1498 Fair Oak Street, April 22nd, 9 p.m. I'm actually emceeing this show, so I'm going to be bringing up a lot of comedians that night. If you want to see me doing comedy, if you want to see live stand-up, this is your chance. Today on the show, Betsy Cox joins me. She's a comedian. She has a podcast called The Real Desperate Housewife. And as she states, she's a crazy wife. We talk about the wild path it took just to get her on the show, jobs she's had, comedy, and most of all, she's in studio. That's right, no Zoom, a real face-to-face conversation. You're really going to find this talk fascinating. I'm glad she made it in. If you like my Running It Back interviews and haven't subscribed already, please do. It really, really helps. The channel is growing, and I am glad that you're a part of it with me. So, on to the interview. Like I said, Betsy is in studio. We have a great talk, so here we go. Betsy Cox is on Running It Back. All right, Betsy Cox, you are joining me in this home studio.
I love this home studio.
I haven't done too many in-person ones, so I was like, when you were like, okay, I'm coming over. I'm like, I'm setting up the studio.
Yeah. I was like, I'm coming over so I can learn where you live, and then we can send your address out for girls who want to stalk you. No.
I've always wanted to be stalked. A lot of people don't know that about me. Well, you made the trek all the way out here. You're a comedian. You're at Blingin' Betsy Comedy on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, so we run into each other. Oh, no. First of all, I say, Betsy, can I interview you a year ago?
Yeah.
And you're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then you go AWOL. You disappear. I run into you at the Comedy Store a week ago, and then you go at me, and you're like, I got to do the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I need to be on your podcast.
Right. So catch me up. Where you been?
My living situation has been out of control. So I've traveled a lot because we sold our house in Santa Monica, and I have been living like a teenager, just jumping from place to place. And then during the pandemic was so crazy because I was so scared of getting COVID. And
you were, what was your fear level COVID times?
Well, I mean, I'm like the most paranoid person alive. So I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die immediately. When I was like, I had 3 masks on. It was insane.
God, Betsy.
I was bleaching groceries. Like I was
Really?
like Clorox and groceries.
You were that person?
I am that person. I was so paranoid.
How are you with it now?
I got it.
You got it.
I got it. And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, I got vaccinated. I got the booster. And then I was like, I have to start doing Pilates before my ass hits the ground. Like, it's a real situation here going on.
Wow, it has been a lot.
So I started doing Pilates, and the second I started doing Pilates, I freaking got COVID. And I was like, this sucks. And the whole reason I did not want to get COVID is because my mom has Parkinson's, and I didn't want to kill my mom. And I'm always doing everything for my mom, so I was standing over her, and I got COVID. I was crying. I was like, Mom, I might kill you. I think you might die.
How did your mom handle that?
My mom was like, it's okay. I think I'm going to be fine. And then she tested positive, but she actually had less symptoms than me, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how strange. How old was he at the time? 93? My 93-year-old grandpa got it. And of course, he's like, I'm not feeling good. And my grandpa is tough as nails. He goes, I'm not feeling good. I better take a nap. And then my uncle goes, no, we got to test you. Like, this is serious business. Like, we got to test you. They test him, and the doctor goes, he had COVID. He's recovering. He had an antibody response to it. He's okay. He's going to be all right. And he's like, oh, yeah, I feel fine. He got it twice. Like a year later, he got it twice. No big deal. He is tough as nails, though. Don't take him as the norm. He is carved out of granite. He's 95 now.
Does he have type O blood?
I'm not sure. I have type O.
You have type O.
I have, or O positive, or O.
Every person I know
Maybe
with
that's it.
O has been completely asymptomatic. That's what you call it when you like have no symptoms?
Yeah. He had a little bit of symptoms, but he was, of
Not
course, he didn't even
bad.
want to go to the doctor. He's like, I'll be all right.
That's
and
crazy.
then he was okay.
That's crazy. Everybody I know that has type O is like, no, never had COVID. And I'm like,
a blood
oh,
thing.
you probably did. And you just didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got it, but maybe I did and I didn't know.
Maybe you did and didn't know.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. If you don't have symptoms, how would you know? And then everybody,
Turns out we all had it.
My sister's boyfriend, my sister got COVID so bad, she was like on her deathbed. And I drove all the way to OC to drop her stuff off. Her boyfriend was like being a construction worker, ripping walls down, rewiring the house, carrying like 20 tons of stuff, and probably had COVID the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you just
definitely.
never know.
So like it was a rough 3 years. And so we know each other through stand-up,
Yeah.
comedy. We've been on shows together. So I see you at the Comedy Store and you mentioned like, oh, I'm getting back into it. So
Yeah.
are you just starting to get back into the world here, or the housing thing?
Well, I was
the other
doing
thing?
a little bit of stand up during the pandemic. Like if I would book an outdoor show, I would do it. So I've done some shows during the pandemic, and then it's hard because I had things to do with people that had, health problems that couldn't be around someone who wasn't staying in. So I did those outdoor shows, but I spent most of the pandemic writing.
Oh, really?
Oh
you were
my gosh.
actually productive during this pandemic.
Yes. I wrote a new pilot, finished one, and today I'm starting a third rewrite of a feature.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
you're one of these people, Betsy, that writes things.
Yeah. I'm one of these people that kills myself every day.
Oh, see, I didn't know that about you. Well, let's go way back to start. Okay, where are you from?
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did I know this? Maybe I knew this.
Not because I can speak English now. So and
had
it's
an
still a
accent?
little shaky. Oh my God, I had such a terrible accent. It was so
Really?
bad. Yeah, nobody understood a word I said ever. Everyone was like, huh, all the time. Oh, so annoying. Yeah.
So you grew up there. What'd your parents do?
Nothing. My mom sold shoes. Like they did nothing great. Nothing anybody. Yeah. Now my mom watches TV all day, and good for her. She deserves it.
Huh.
Yeah.
And what'd your dad do?
Well, my dad did all kind of different jobs, but my dad and my dad had a different life than like he wasn't really. He was like a musician and out all night, and then like a
Oh,
one of
really?
those. Yeah.
So like you didn't see him a bunch in your childhood years? He was always out?
Yeah, no, my mom and dad have been separated. I have a joke. My dad's a fuck boy.
Your dad is?
Yes.
The original?
Yeah, the OG. Yeah.
I can't even imagine, because I think I had the most square dad in the world growing up. Oh, yeah. I had Clark Griswold as a father. Just over planning, always in your face, always involved. So when I hear people like, oh yeah, my dad, wasn't around, I was like, where was he? My dad was the guy at every basketball game. I didn't think of this joke. My friend did. My dad is a psychiatrist. So, you would have the football games. Every time a kid got injured, my dad runs on the field. He's that kid. He's that guy.
Stop.
He runs on the field. And my friend asked me about 10 years ago, he's like, remember your dad would run on the field every time a kid got injured? Yeah. Your dad's a psychiatrist. Like, oh yeah, what's he going to do? Like, oh, he twisted my ankle. I was like, do you want to call your parents?
Oh my God. Your
Yeah.
dad was like a helicopter mom.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. It sounds like your dad was the opposite.
Yeah. No, my mom was
dad.
like a helicopter mom. My dad was like a party animal.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my-
God. Yeah.
When did you realize that he was like that? How old were you? Did
Oh,
it take
God,
years, or
a
because you think
baby.
you
No,
knew right
my dad
away?
was always leaving for another woman.
Really?
Yes. He left. Oh my.
He really was a fuckboy.
Yeah, like big time.
Huh.
Like, let me just tell you, we did 23andMe, and my mom was having a breakdown about us doing 23andMe. She's like, Betsy, do you want to find out you have more brothers and sisters out there and have more people asking you for money? And I was like, I was really nervous.
Did you do it?
I did do it. But
Did you find some brothers and sisters?
no, I haven't. But I thought, they probably couldn't afford to do the $150. I have to send my dad. Now I talk to my dad. He has cats. He should have just always had cats. He's obsessed with his cats. But I mean, he would die before he left these cats. Yeah. So.
Wow. So you have a relationship with him now?
Oh, yeah. I talk to my dad all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. How old is he?
Like 74, 73, 74.
Oh, okay.
Older
And
now.
you talk to him and you guys are able to converse and stuff?
Oh, yeah. We're probably very similar, although I'm not a fuck boy or a fuck girl.
You're similar.
We're animal people.
How do you think you're similar to your dad? What do you mean?
He's a cat dad and I'm a dog mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're like the craziest animal people. And I realized I should have just been an animal mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's easy. It's actually, my mom had 4 kids, and she's like, these dogs are harder than my 4 kids. Like, this is a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. I've always had like 5 or 6 dogs, sometimes 10, sometimes 15. Now I only have 4.
Really?
Yeah.
4 dogs?
Yeah.
You are a dog owner, crazy dog owner.
Yeah. I mean,
Why so many?
Because I rescue. Because I'm like, oh my God, look at this old dog at the shelter.
Oh, really? That's how you are?
Yeah. It's. I wish I was not like this. I wish. I have to stay away because I have 4 dogs and I'm like, well, I'm going to have a stable place to live now. So maybe I should go to the shelter. There's probably an old Chihuahua.
Get another one.
Yeah, but I gotta stop. I gotta kind of chill out.
And how many siblings?
I have 2 sisters. I had an older brother, but he passed away. But I have these 2 sisters that are enough. Like, those are my kids, I feel like, half the time. So.
Your 2 sisters. They're
Yeah.
younger?
No.
But they're still your kids?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
And like growing up in New Orleans, what were you like as a kid?
Like ADHD out of control, so loud
really?
and crazy, and I could not sit still for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not a person who really needs sleep. Maybe just a little bit.
Is that right?
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
And as a kid, you were high energy?
Yeah.
Did
really.
your parents have to like find activities for you to keep you busy? Would you get into trouble?
I just rode my bike like for 15 hours a day, literally. Yeah, I went to school, came home, and got on my bike, and I just rode my bike all day.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Wow. Well, I gotta say, I've interviewed a lot of comics. It's never gone towards bike talk. So all my background is bicycles, Betsy. Finally, I can talk with a comic about bicycles. Do you remember what kind of bike you had?
I just had a 10-speed, like with the bars that rolled under, and I would
Drop bars?
ride it with no handlebars and do all the swervy things.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bike talk with Betsy. There you go.
Wow. We're going to have a Tour de France edition.
I did
Bicycle.
crazy stunts. Did you ride a bike?
Yeah, I grew up riding and racing bicycles on a mountain bike and then on the road. And then my goal was to be a professional cyclist. I never got to a pro. I got very close a couple of times. And that's how I ended up in Salt Lake City, Utah for bicycle racing. So I do that. And then I worked in the bicycle industry too. So I was like surrounded by it. It was my thing. And it's so funny how it mirrors comedy. Because bike racing, you go to an event, just like comedy, you go to a show, you go to a festival. And then bike racing, you have 200 people. 199 of those people lose,
Yeah.
And then you come back in the comedy, you think you always do good, but you don't know. It's not a ranking. But you come back and on the drive home, you do nothing but rationalize to yourself like, I did pretty good. The crowd wasn't that good. And you're like, I raced good. I didn't really sleep that good. And I still raced pretty good. I missed my water bottle that one. I still did pretty. Like, you just rationalize it all the way back, just like you do in comedy.
That's crazy.
So it's similar in that regard too. And when you go up through the bicycle ranks, it's numerically start at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 pro. Same with comedy, open mic, guest spot, host, feature, headliner, super headliner. It's so funny the rankings still exist. So my background is cycling,
That's
as a sport
insane.
and as like my enjoyment of activity. And you were riding crazy miles, it seems.
Yeah, I was riding. Listen, I probably could have been a cyclist if I had
Sounds
known
like
about
you could
it.
have.
Yeah,
You had a lot of energy for it.
I was more like a cyclist to Winn-Dixie, the grocery store there. But yeah. But that's insane because I feel like to be that intense in a sport, you really need to, like, it's probably because your dad was a psychiatrist. You probably learned discipline.
Wow, you're going deep on me.
Yeah, I mean,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, definitely.
My
'cause you need
folks are
discipline.
pretty disciplined. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were pretty strict with us. Like, you got to get grades. This was what pissed me off about my folks. If you want to be on the sports team, you had to have a 75. You couldn't have a grade under 75, right? Or else you would be ineligible. My friends are like, 75, huh? You need an 85. I'm like, but 75's enough. Can't we keep it at 75? Why do we have to have these unmeasurable standards? That's how they were. They were just, everything had to be a little bit more. Or
That's
just
good though, because
it's good
now
in the
you
long run.
probably push yourself, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Really?
No, I feel like some of it has lasted in me.
Yeah,
know,
you
there's no
have to
quitting.
have that. That's. I feel like, don't you feel like you have to be the type of person to push yourself to do stand up?
That's true.
Like, it's a hard thing to stay in. It's
Yeah.
always like good night, bad night, this night, that. Like, it's like, trying to get a new joke to work. You have to push yourself and keep going. And like, even if you just want to like lay on the ground and be like, I'm so tired. This is exhausting.
Yeah.
But you love it so much. But then,
Yeah.
so
You
I
have
feel-
that one good set. You have that one good race. We're like, I got to keep doing this. You know, like, where else can I go? Like, this would have, you'd go to a race and you'd essentially make some new friends. Some of these races were 5 days long and you would kind of see everybody day after day and you would make friends and be like, hey, when you're in Colorado, we have this race in July. You'd be like, oh, cool. When you come through Texas, we have this race in August. And then you make all these friends. All of a sudden you have a whole new world that you can go race in. Same with comedy. They're like, hey, when you're coming through Denver, open mics on this day. And if you call me, you can get on this show. And you're like, okay, great. Let's plan a Denver trip. And now you have all this whole new world and new friends too.
Yeah.
I always thought they were very similar paths. Cycling, amateur cycling, and amateur comedy too.
I feel like
Just go and
sports,
go.
all sports are probably kind of like comedy. I mean, think about
That's
it.
a good
Football,
point.
like, I mean, I always try to think, because I never thought about football players, like, or like basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine you've been playing this sport every freaking
Yeah.
day, and then you get into the NBA or the NFL, and you've got all these people looking down, and they're
Yeah.
boo,
Yeah,
or,
the
and you're-
criticism.
it gets your nerves. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine how crazy? And then that's why
can't.
you see these guys, they could, throw that ball in a hoop 300 times in one position. And then when the heat is on them and all those people are watching,
yeah.
you crack, it's
So much. Yeah, I have a lot of sympathy for athletes that mainly fail under pressure because I'm like, I couldn't do that. There's no way you could ask anyone to do that. And
Yeah.
like, probably these guys are 25 years old and under. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being that young and having pressure on you, making money, like you're making crazy money, and then you have to
Yeah.
perform. You have to perform.
and you're seeing the money, and it's like, if I mess up, it's all going away. But
Yeah.
don't you wish somebody
true.
would be like, oh, you're doing comedy? Let us give you serious money to start out.
Yeah, I would have taken $40. So you're a kid in Louisiana. You're riding your bike all over the place.
Yeah.
What's your interest as a kid? Were you into comedy and performing, movies, music? What's the first thing that grabbed you?
Probably. It's so weird because I thought I was going to be a model, which was so dumb because, like, why would anybody want to be that? And I did, but
Really?
mostly
I feel a lot of girls wanted to be models.
remember the Aerosmith? Yeah, probably. But remember the Aerosmith video, Angel?
Oh yeah, I do.
And the girl, I was like, I want
I
to be
remember
that.
I remember all the Aerosmith videos.
All of
yeah,
them were
They were
great.
big.
I used to like go to every Aerosmith concert. I was
Really?
so obsessed with them.
Should you ride down on your
Yes.
bike? No. I'm just gonna lock it up. Go in this concert.
That was after the bike years when I started driving. But
Upgrade.
it's so funny because during the pandemic, I got a Peloton.
Oh really?
Yes. And
Yeah.
I was like, look, I'm doing an ad for Peloton.
Do the ad, Betsy.
I was like, Oh my God. I forgot how much I loved riding a bike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love my Peloton.
Wow.
Yeah.
People love that thing.
I'm obsessed.
Love it.
I'm obsessed because it's fun to do the classes. You do them with everyone. I haven't been able to do it in like 8 months because I haven't had a place to set it up. So it's just sitting.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's in storage. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I cannot wait to get this Peloton back and ride my bike again. And I don't have to worry about somebody hitting me with a car in LA. 'Cause
Yep.
you know, nobody can drive here.
Got to be careful if you're going to ride your bike in LA.
Yeah.
I've got a few comics now that have mentioned they have like small bicycle interests. I need to get everybody out on the bike and we have to go for like a ride. We'll go somewhere. It'll be the funnest ride ever, don't you think?
You
We'll
know
just
what?
be cruising along.
There is a group of people in LA that trick their bikes out. They have like, you know, those little spoke things you can pop on your spokes. They have light up spoke things. They
Yeah.
put LED lights.
You can
around
say
their
it,
bikes.
Betsy. The Mexicans. That's fine.
No, they're all different. It's a crew. It's like you can join it. What is it? I cannot think of what it's called.
Oh, like the term for it? It's not
it's
critical
like
mass,
it's
is
like
it?
a name, and you ask, and they are on Facebook, and you find out where they're riding, and people trick their bikes out, like they trick
Oh.
cars out, and it's like they cruise around LA. It's like a bike team. if
Oh,
this
really?
makes- yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I've
Yeah.
heard of groups. It's called the critical mass ride, where you get as much riders as possible. You take up a whole lane of traffic. It's borderline dangerous, but
I've heard
it's
of
like a
that.
novelty thing to do.
Cycling is so dangerous in LA.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah,
You have to
there's
pick your spots.
always. You see on Nextdoor. By the way, I'm obsessed with Nextdoor since the pandemic.
What's next door? I don't know what that is.
Oh my God, it's an app that anybody can get on and hear all the drama going on in their neighborhood.
Oh, yes, I have heard this.
I love it.
Really?
People are insane. I'm like, wow, people really have a lot of time on their hands. Like, I wish I was sitting around and could just post about it.
Well, this is the best time for something like Nextdoor because not only do we have apps, texting, we have Ring video doorbells.
Yeah.
We can watch everybody's videos. We can see if any coyotes came through your front door. We can see if the UPS man dropped it off right. This is the golden age
Oh my God.
of
it
neighborhood
is.
gossip.
love
That's your new project, Betsy. Yes. Neighborhood. What could you be? Neighborhood narc. I could see that.
I have a
That'd be
neighbor
fun.
that's a neighborhood narc. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm looking out of the window starting from like 8 in the morning and I'm up till 1 in the morning. And if I fall asleep, call me. I'll be at the window.
Oh, wow.
She is something else. I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, this neighborhood thing is right up your alley then. Sorry, I jumped ahead. So you want to be a model.
I did. I moved to LA and I modeled a little bit. And I did like some
When did you move here?
Oh God, before Era One was here. Like,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Oh,
I was,
yeah?
like super young when I moved. After high school, I moved to Miami and then I moved here. It's probably like 18 years ago. Like a long time ago. I can't even think of the years because I can't even remember when I got here.
Did you always want to move to LA?
No, it's such a weird, it's so weird why I moved to LA. I was in Miami and I read for a acting role for a film about a 1920s Italian actress, Tina Modotti. And at that point I had dyed my hair brown, which I look crazy with brown hair. But I dyed my hair brown and I look really Italian when I have brown hair. So the guy was this producer, John Daly, and they were trying to do a short film and they never got the funding, but I moved. He's like, you need to move to LA. You need to get out and you need to pursue acting, which was the worst idea. No, acting is so exhausting.
Yeah.
I think
Was
stand
he
up.
being legit about getting you to move to LA?
Oh yeah, he was like, you should
was.
move. Yeah, he introduced me to a manager, but I mean, I did it for a while, but trying to get in the room all the time. You go back to producers, you test for something. It's always like it's just so like with stand up, at least you can write a joke. You can get on stage. you can do the joke and you know whether you fail or you succeed. It's not up to them to pick you or to like get credits to get here or there. It's like up to a crowd of people who want to laugh, whether they think it's funny or not. It's like you can create your own destiny with stand up. And that's like you have more control over it.
Yeah.
So that's why I sort of was like, I like this so much better. And writing, I'm obsessed with. So
Yeah. Yeah. You were saying that you're doing all this writing. What's your writing process like? Are you structured about it?
not right now, but basically my writing process is like, if I have a day I could write anywhere from like, 2 hours to 16 hours to 20 hours.
Really?
Like I will go from day to night, drinking coffee, getting up, eating an apple, eating a bag of chips, eating a this, eating a that, walking around the kitchen, and then sitting back down at my computer and writing on and off for literally 20 hours.
Really?
Oh my God. I've pulled my neck out so many times like this. And I had to get something to lift my computer. I had to get acupuncture.
Oh my God.
I'm a hyper focuser, but I love
Were
to
you a
write.
good student?
Horrible student.
Horrible student, but you're focused on writing. You can write.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm focused because I love characters. I love creating them and I love seeing them come alive. And I even love I love that part of stand up, how you can create this joke and watching it come alive and then making it funnier and then funnier and working it out more and more. I love the process of that.
I see. So you had that performance creativity thing in you from as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Were you in school plays? How did it
Yeah.
manifest itself as a kid?
Yeah, that was my favorite thing to do, is the
Really?
creative part of school, like any of the plays, arts and crafts. I wish that they had more of that. And I wish that I really do wish that could be more of a focus for a lot of kids who are creative. Don't you think? I mean, I loved math. Don't get me wrong. I was like algebra. Everybody was like, how do we do that, Betsy? I can help you. But geometry, I remember my geometry teacher's like, you have to have a career using geometry. You're so good. You just get it. But numbers were interesting to me. They were not boring to me. They make your mind think, and it's like fun. It's like a puzzle. Writing is like math. Writing is like a puzzle. You're putting pieces to. It's always like it's like a formula that you figure out. That's why it keeps I love a good formula, I guess.
I see. Oh, so you have it sounds like you have like a linear sort of brain or way of thinking. You're like A plus B equals C, the numbers, but you've
Yes.
applied it to the creative too.
Yeah.
If you put it into the story. So so you have this element. It's weird that it carried into math though for you. Something totally non-creative, but you locked into it.
Yeah, because I love formula and figuring a problem out.
Uh-huh.
I'm a problem solver.
I see. Problem solver, and you have a lot of dogs.
Yeah. That's why I have a lot of dogs. They have a problem. They're going to die.
You brought it back. Yes. I got to solve this dog problem.
Yeah.
Now on to the homeless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you go before LA? Did you go to college after high school?
No, I moved to Miami and I started modeling there.
What's it like to model in Miami?
It was
That sounds like a
weird.
jungle.
It was very weird. And I was not successful there. And when I moved to LA, I actually did well here. Like I booked some jobs, did some little print things, this and that. And then I started doing commercials. And it's so weird because the commercials I would book were always super comedic commercials. I wouldn't probably booked some of I can't even think of all of my books, but a lot of them were very comedic, roles. And I thought, and when I started an acting class, she's like, you need to do stand-up comedy. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
I don't even really, what? Huh?
So stand-up wasn't a thing for you
No,
yet.
no.
When you moved here, you didn't anticipate doing stand-up yet.
No.
Huh.
I never grew up and was like, I used to watch Rita Rudner's comedy special.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember her.
Oh God, she's so good. I'm obsessed with Rita Rudner. You know who's kind of like a Rita Rudner to me is Natasha Leggero. They have that character.
Oh, that's a good
essence.
persona. Yeah. A lot of their act is that character they are.
I love
And you don't know if that's really them or the character. And it
Yeah.
makes you very, very interested.
It's like
Rita Rudner.
locks you in. Yeah, I love characters. I don't think I'm a character. I mean, I probably am a natural crazy person. Like I'm a lunatic, but like Mama's Family, was all characters. And that was like my favorite show. Like Sanford and Son, like Red Fox, like those are characters. That locks me in. I love it. So
It's funny, Rita Rudner was the one. Like everybody I talk to, there's always this one person, and it's never who you would think. That kind of grabs their attention. They're like, yeah, that's who I was like, I want to do what they do. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. It didn't seem like you were like that person at all. But like, no, that's who I was into. And for you, it was Rita Rudner.
Yeah, it was because my step-grandpa gave me her comedy VHS tape when I was a kid. And that's what I watched all the time. I just rewind it and watch it over and over. She was so good. She is like, to me, like the best, but
yeah,
I loved it.
Were you a big movie person as a kid and teenager?
Yeah, I love movies, but I'm sort of a boring movie. I like comedies, and I like really bad ones that people go, "Oh God, this is so."
Oh,
and I'm
really?
always
Like what?
It was so good.
Yeah, this might be number 2 connection we have, Betsy. I love bad. I have convinced myself, like, oh, I just like things that are bad, like all the bad movies from the 90s. I'm like, Boiler Room was a good movie. I liked Boiler Room. Let's watch it again. I'm like, don't you want to watch The English Patient? No, I want to watch Boiler Room. I want to watch, what was that one with, I want to watch She's All That. I want to watch,
that.
like the silly ones.
Yeah.
Like, let's watch 10 Things I Hate About You again.
Yeah.
Oh, you like that movie? No, I don't like it. That one kid pisses me off. I want to watch it again.
Yeah, that's like me. I love it. I'm into those movies. And I'm like, people are like, oh, those are like less than mediocre. I don't want to see that in a theater. I don't want to pay the seat. I'm like, then don't go. Like, we're going.
Yeah, and then half the fun is talking shit about the movie with your friend afterwards. But sometimes you have to find the friend who's actually seen it. I remember my mom would take me and my brother to the movies like during the week. But she would take us to see movies she wanted to see. And so every once in a while there'd be a weird one. Like we went to go see this movie called Regarding Henry, where Harrison Ford is a dickhead lawyer and he gets shot in the head and he goes into a coma. When he wakes up, he's nice. And I got out of that movie, I was like, I don't know if that was good or not, but it was kind of entertaining. Like Harrison Ford was wearing like sweats at the end of it, and he slicks his hair back as a lawyer, but when he gets shot in the head, it's all like down, and he's like a good dad all of a sudden. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. My mom took me and my brother to see it. We were like 8 years old.
That's like, sort of a cool idea.
She would just take us to movies. We saw School Tides. We saw Contact. That alien, and when I got out of there, I was like, "Mom, is there no God?" And she's like, "In the car, boys, in the car."
Yeah, and growing up, my mom we watched like movies with sex scenes. Like we watched.
Oh, really?
Oh my God! As kids, like I would never have this thing where I'm like, oh, he's 8. It's a rated R movie. He can't go. I was like, my best friend's son stayed with me. I was like, oh, you can watch. You want to watch Pitch Perfect? And then this other kid was like, that's rated R. I was like, oh, I let him watch it. I had no idea. Is that okay? I was I'm so, I'm like, I would probably be the worst parent because my mom was so inappropriate. Anything we wanted to know, she told us. Like, Mom, what's sex?
Oh, really?
Yes. Everything. She's like, when a man sticks a penis in a woman's vagina and don't tell you, fucking friend.
Wow.
Yes.
Your mom didn't hold back.
Nothing.
I'm starting to get where that character is coming from in you now, Betsy. Just raised by characters.
Yeah, I was raised. My mom was a total character.
Really?
Yeah, walking around with pink sponge rollers in her hair, no bra on, cursing everybody out. Yes, 100%. I walked around humiliated my whole life like this. I'm like, oh my God.
Did you try and hide your mom from your friends? Like, did you ever do that? I think we all have that stage where we try and hide our parents from our friends. I remember I was in like the 8th grade and I have a brother who's really younger. He's 10 years younger than me. So we would go see kids movies, but I was like 17. No, I was younger. So I still wanted to see the Disney movies. I still want to see Aladdin and stuff. And my little brother, of course. So we all go to the movies Friday night at the mall. We watch Aladdin, whatever. We come out of the movies and I see a group of my friends from school at the mall on dates. And I'm like, oh no, I cannot let them see me here and I sure can't let my parents see them because my mom will go up and say hello to them. So I was like, let's get out of here. I remember I cursed. Because my mom was like, let's go to the shoe store. Let's go buy the soundtrack. I was like, let's get the hell out of here. And they're like, we're going home, young man. And I was like, yeah. Let's go home. Let's get out of here. And I saved it. They didn't see me and my mom didn't see them. And I saved it, but I had to curse to get out of that mall. So I hid my parents from my friends.
Oh my God. You were so embarrassed to your parents. You got yourself punished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was kind of embarrassed for myself because like, there's no way I could get a date like these kids got. So, like, I'm already embarrassed of myself, but I had to have a self-inflicted wound.
Well, the truth is you probably could have. You just didn't think you could.
Betsy,
right?
I could not have gotten a date. Let me tell you. I was not that good with the ladies from the ages of 12 to 20. Well, let's just say from 12 on.
That's hilarious.
I just had to get out of the mall. So it sounds like you hid your mom from your friends in a different way too.
Well, you couldn't hide my mom because she was so loud. You knew a mile away she was coming. I mean, you couldn't hide the woman. I would love to hide my mom, but she was hanging out of the window of the car, cursing people out that flew past the crossing guard. Everybody at school saw, like it was, everybody knew who my mom was.
Why was she this crazy?
She just didn't, my mom doesn't have an F in the tank. Like she is not, she does not care.
Really?
She's still like that. She is still like that.
Yeah, parents don't change. That's what I've realized.
No.
They do not change.
My mom, when she got Parkinson's, I was like, I'm sort of wondering if this is like God's way to tell you, slow down or you're going to die because you're insane. She was dying laughing.
Huh. Is she religious? Did you guys grow up religious at all?
You know what? She is, but I'm not. And my mom will be like, oh, say she's religious, but she's like really mad if somebody says being gay is wrong or trans. She's like, what? You don't want a transgender person in your bathroom? They have to pee too, you know? Like,
wow.
What?
Sounds like your mom just goes hard, period.
My mom makes up her own God. Okay.
Oh, really?
But she doesn't I'm like, Mom, that religion is against this. And somebody called her and said, we want to stop them from teaching this in schools because it's going to teach kids to be gay. And she goes, don't call this fucking number again. You know, you should leave these fucking kids alone. I'm like cursing the guy out. And it's a religious group of people calling her. She makes up her own God rules. So her God.
So you wouldn't say your mom has a religion per se. You wouldn't say your mom is Catholic.
My mom's like, God don't like that. What does that mean, Mom? God don't like that. God don't like that? She's like, no, God don't like that. So don't do it. She
get that on a t-shirt. I should be your mom's t-shirt. God don't like that.
I should get her a t-shirt that says, God don't like that. If I'm acting sassy, she's like, God don't like that.
I think my mom would wear that t-shirt too, now that I think about it.
Does your mom make up her own religion too?
She doesn't make it up, but she's pretty religious, or she's pretty she likes religion. She gets a lot from the rituals of it, the community of it. You know, we grew up religious, but I couldn't wait to get out. But I wasn't mad at it. I was like, I like all the community. I like all the morality of it, but I don't want to go anywhere on Sundays. I don't want to give up stuff for Lent. I think we're pretty good people. Like, why do we have to do all these little arbitrary rules? But I like that we would get together on Sunday. That was fun and stuff. And my dad would mumble through saying grace at Thanksgiving. That was funny to me. I was like, time for grace, everybody. And every year, my dad has to say the grace. He never prepares. He never prepares the grace. And he's like, and bless poor people. We like poor people are great. We like poor people. And God bless the Dallas Cowboys and everything they do. And I was like, prepare something and keep it under 5 minutes. That's how he is.
So funny.
So, yeah, I grew up religious, and I appreciate it, but, yeah, I was never into it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I have any religion. I just say I'm into anything that people get something out of. But my mom loves it.
Your mom loves it. Oh, that's good because she has something. I mean, it gives you something to focus on and something to do. And, I mean, I know my mom loves it too, but it's just her God is just different than everyone else's, okay? She growing up, she could smoke pot. Yeah, and I would say, I don't think God likes that. God don't like that. And she would say, God wants me to smoke pot or I would
Oh.
kill you. So God wanted her to smoke pot.
Huh.
Yeah. So
Wow. What's going on there in
I
your mom's
know.
brain? Was your mom encouraging of you? Like
Yeah.
when you wanted to move to Miami, to Los
Yeah.
Angeles and in comedy? She's a supportive mom.
Well, I think because I had no money and she probably didn't have the money to help me out. So I like was bouncing on luck and like $1,000 I'd saved both times when I moved. I think that was really stressful. I remember when I got here and I said, okay, I'm renting a room in this guy's house. I found him in like this like magazine
Oh,
or
really?
something. Yeah. And I was like,
Oh, no.
I don't know anywhere is what. But I would like, because I'm from New Orleans, I just ended up in like a neighborhood that looked like what I was familiar with. And it turned out to be Compton.
Oh, I was going to ask, what neighborhood? Compton?
Yeah.
So young Betsy Cox gets here and goes straight to Compton.
Because I rented a room that I could afford there. I had $350 and I had my $80 deposit. So I rented a room with that. So I gave him the $80 deposit. And then I was like, I worked at Hooters and I always had a job waiting
Worked
for
at
me.
Hooters?
Yeah. And I was like,
In Compton?
in Long Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had to go from Compton to Long Beach.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, yeah. And then I moved to the LBC.
Wow.
And I used to
Upgraded.
use the payphone because I
Is that
couldn't
right?
afford a cell phone. Yeah.
No cell phone, working at Hooters,
Yeah.
and you're in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Wow. Where does comedy come in all this stuff?
I was not doing comedy. I got here and there was a makeup artist that I met in Miami and I kept her phone number and I knew she said she might move to LA. So I called her to see if she had moved to LA and we got in touch, became friends. She was like, let's do a photo shoot with this photographer. He helped me get an agent. And then things just started to unfold. I started modeling. I was waitressing. And then the commercial department took me on, and I probably auditioned for commercials for like a year and a half to 2 years before I even booked one. And then I started booking commercials here and there. It was a crazy ride for me.
That
It
is
was
a crazy
not
ride.
easy. I had the bumpiest road. I had a hard ass life growing up, but then when I got here, it was like, okay, well, am I going to eat today? Let's see if somebody
really?
leaves work and I can get a shift. Yeah.
Oh,
God,
it's
yeah.
that dire, huh?
Oh my God. I was driving on empty. My car got broken into and it's freezing in LA. And I had to like wear a coat in my car because I couldn't afford to get my window fixed. It was
Oh,
like-
wow.
yeah. I
Jeez.
was like, it was bad when I first moved here.
That is rough. That first
Yeah.
year in LA, whether you move here young, not young, old, it is always a culture shock. Finding the job, finding the new circle of friends. And then like we all came here for some reason.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, now I have to start to put some inroads into finding acting class, open mic, whatever, start writing, start finding a PA job. Like it is really stressful. Like I always say, like no one would ever say LA is a tough town. Like you say, that's a tough town. It's New York and Chicago. LA is a very competitive, tough town. Everything from paying for gas, rent, and then finding your way around. It's so big of a city too. That you have to learn geography.
Yeah. You have to
learn
learn
this
all the
place.
freeways. It's not easy. Even on the GPS, I still get lost.
I couldn't imagine navigating the city without Waze and Apple Maps.
Yeah.
Because you may have done something 20 times, but all of a sudden, LA Marathon. You're like, how do I get around this?
I have to map myself home from my mom's house to make sure I don't hit some massive traffic jam. Like you just,
Yeah.
It's like it's not about knowing where you're going all the time. It's about like, can I get there? It's that bad.
It's really difficult. It's not really the first thing people say when they describe the city, but it is really difficult
Yeah.
of a town to find work and then to pursue whatever it is you came here to do. Everyone came here, so you have a lot of ambitious people here. It gets very competitive. It's hard to navigate it. So also it feels like when I moved here, it's like this is a town full of everybody who was the most outgoing person in their high school. And I'm like, that was so not me growing up. Of course, like that's not this whole town, but it's like, it feels like everybody here is loud. Everybody here has a ton of personality. Everybody here has something to say. I don't know if I like hearing what I have to say. Well, why did I think this was a good idea? This was very intimidating.
Yeah, it
You know?
is. I think it isn't. It was intimidating for me too, I feel like, because I feel like everybody here also like has so much money or comes from money. And like if you're it's like it's just very different. It's just like, oh my God, this is like crazy. Like people's parents can lend them money for rent. Like what the hell is going on
Yeah.
here? Like what?
Yeah.
It was really odd. And I was like always one of the only one of my friends that had jobs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you knew you had to work right away.
Oh my God.
Like, I gotta go to Hooters.
Yeah, I was, everywhere I went, because I worked at Hooters. Everywhere I went, I had a job in Miami, here. Hooters was my lifesaver. And I know the feminists today would be very upset about this. And I'm sorry, but I had to eat too.
Take that, Glorious Dynam. Hooters saved you.
Hooters saved my freaking life. Okay.
What's it like to work at Hooters?
Oh my God, it's so fun. It's
Is
like
it just like a restaurant? I mean, you've got to have added hurdles working at Hooters.
It is a restaurant, but it is a sorority, okay? It is like you're gonna find your best lifelong friends forever and ever and ever and ever. Like it's crazy. You become like a sisterhood, and no matter what, like you are gonna be friends forever. Like even one of my best friends here that does comedy, we did bottle service together working as waitresses, and we discovered we both worked at Hooters. I was like, you worked at Hooters? Me too. I was like, I knew that we had something that was going to make us, I knew
Hooters
that we were
girls
meant to
unite.
be lifelong friends.
Huh, no kidding. Is it a tough job?
Listen, Hooters is corporate. There are 15 steps of service that you have to hit with every single table. 15 steps.
All right, take me through it. I'm a new trainee at Hooters.
I haven't worked there in like 100 years, but it's like you have to greet your table within 3 seconds. It's something like that.
I could do that.
If
Hello,
you can't,
welcome
you have
to
to
Hooters.
drop bev naps immediately.
What's bev naps?
Napkins to put a drink on.
Oh, okay.
If you can't get
can
the
do that.
drink order, you have to say, I'll be right back for your drink order just to greet. And then you have to get back within the minute. You have to get the drink order, bring the drink. You have to offer an appetizer.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then.
Okay. We're already like at 8 steps here.
It's crazy. Then you have to take their entrees. You have to offer dessert. You have to refill the drinks. You have to be back 2 bites, 2 minutes. We got shoppers come in.
Oh, yeah,
and
secret
mark
shoppers?
us. Yes,
Yeah.
for all of these.
Oh, I'd be so stressed.
It was so stressful. And like everything was so corporate. And if you did not do it, and you had to go to other people's tables as well as your own and say, hi, is everything okay over here? Like, I'm
really?
Betsy, nice to meet you, and write your name on a napkin.
Huh. Other people's tables?
Yes, it was crazy.
That'd be
It was
stressful.
so corporate.
Offer the appetizer, offer the dessert. Yeah.
Well, like most restaurants, but we had to offer merchandise, but we had to check on them before they got their food to make sure they were okay, and then check on them like 2 bites into the appetizer. And it was like so ridiculous. You had to follow all of these steps. It was so crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. It makes sense. You know?
Well, I have crow's feet around my eyes from smiling so much at Hooters. Thank God for Botox.
Hooters. You need to write the book, Betsy. I survived Hooters.
Yeah.
So now you're working at Hooters. When's the first time you get on stage to do stand-up? Where do you go, and what's the plan?
Oh God, it was so many years ago. I got on stage. I don't even know how old I was. The first time I got on stage, it was a friend of mine who did stand up and was trying to make me do it. Took me to an open mic. I got on stage and I just started talking. And it was fun. I was like imitating my mom.
Yeah.
And then I got off and I had this other comic be like, I want to help you like hone in and write your jokes. Let's meet up. I was like, okay. And then I did it for a little while, but I hit a big bump in the road. My brother passed away. And then I was like, ugh, nothing's funny. So I stopped doing comedy. And then I started again, but it was like I was working all the time and I got married and then I stopped and then I started for like a month or two. I would do like a month or two here and there. And then before the pandemic, probably 2.5 years, I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm really going to do stand up because I miss it. I love it. And I feel like I was meant to do it, even though I kept stopping. So I always would go back.
Yeah, because I would see you. I've lived here 8 years, and I would see you sporadically. And then it seemed like all of a sudden I saw you a lot.
Yeah.
Like I would see you at all the same clubs and mics that I would go to. I didn't really know you yet, but I would just see you. And I think we did a few shows together.
I think so.
And then you were putting out videos too. You would
Yeah.
make these little like music videos too.
Yes.
So then I was like, oh, I saw your music video. And then we would chat about it. And then, that's where I saw you. So all of a sudden you were around all the mics, all the late night, like club mics. So going to the hard mics.
I was killing myself, just like you were too. Just like you. Because I would see you everywhere. And, honestly, you're always the nicest person in the world. And that's how
I've always said that.
I saw you at the Comedy Store and I was like, I need to do your podcast.
Yeah, you came at me with a lot of aggression.
Because I ran into you all the time and we always talked.
Yeah,
and
we
I
would
was
just chit chat before the mic because you got to have that person at these mics that you're comfortable sitting with for 2 hours plus. Yeah. Because it's going to be a long night and you just got to be like, oh, that was funny. Like, oh, I've seen that guy before or something like that. You got to have that, like, it's even if it's just one friend. You got to have someone to hang out with because there's such long nights and it gets tough on you.
It's tough and it's boring and it's like, it's exhausting and it's lonely. It's lonely.
Very lonely.
Very lonely.
It's a good word to describe it. I would have to bribe myself through some of these mics. Like there was one at the Improv and they would have it Sunday nights and it would start at 11 p.m. and it would go to 1 a.m. And I would get there and I would want to leave from the start. And I'm like, I drove all the way over here.
Yeah.
And you want to leave? You have to, all right, make it to midnight. And then I would say, okay, if you make it till 12:30, there's a McDonald's that's 24 hours on the way home. You can get drive-through. If you make it till 12:30, I was like, okay, I'll make it. So I'm having this internal battle with myself because I want to leave so bad. I was like, no, you got to stay here. And I would bribe myself with drive-through. On the way home, I was like, you make it till 12:30.
Yeah.
You can go to McDonald's
That's
on the way
me
home.
every night at Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is the one for you, huh?
Yeah, that's why I
do
always
like Taco
had
Bell,
videos.
too.
I swear everybody knows me there. They're like, oh, hey.
They know you. What's your order at Taco Bell?
Mexican pizza with no meat and no cheese.
Oh, you stick to the vegan.
Yeah. And a bean burrito with no cheese.
Sounds pretty good. I go Crunchwrap Supreme at Taco Bell. I love that invention.
I love that.
I don't know how they thought of it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's amazing.
I get that with no meat and no cheese and no sour cream.
Wow. No sour cream too?
Yeah, I don't eat any
I don't know how you do it. I don't know if we can be friends anymore, Betsy. You might have crossed the line. I was looking at you have a podcast too.
Yeah.
I like how it's called The Real Desperate Housewife.
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
Yeah, it's the real Desperate Housewife.
And then your first episode is how to stalk your husband?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's real. I mean,
Do you really stalk your husband?
I mean, I don't stalk him. Like, he goes away and stuff, but I definitely know everything he's doing. Like, it's I mean, I think
do you not trust this guy?
the thing is, I have no reason not to trust my husband. I totally trust him.
Yeah.
But I just know this of a man. They are faithful until they are not.
What's that?
Does that make sense? They all of a sudden, some girl turns their head, and then it's like he's been faithful for 20 years.
Minutes.
He was a great
years.
guy, and it's like boom, here she comes, and I just want my husband to understand, like, I'm coming after you. I'm coming for you. Trust me.
I got to interview your husband on a later episode. Do you think this is from your dad experience?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
it's
can
got to be, right? He was suspicious of.
My husband already knows if he cheated on me, I could smell it when he stepped to the front door. Like when he put the key in, I could smell from a mile away that he did it. I can look at you and I already know.
Wow.
I know. I really don't like knowing because I don't want to know what other men are doing, but I know, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's interesting. Has your relationship changed? Have you always been this way? Like you're doing it for like comedic purposes. I get that, but it sounds like it is really in your head.
Oh, I mean, I'm not like, he doesn't feel like I'm like a psycho after him, but I would definitely know if he did something and I definitely would look at his phone if he left it out. Like, why wouldn't, I mean, like, my husband said this when we were watching TV. And he goes, if girls go through your shit, like we were watching some show and it was like about cheating and it was, what was it? I can't, Dr. Foster or something. And I was like, she found his second phone. And I was like, good girl. And Steve goes, yeah, but even though she didn't know, the relationship's already over. She didn't trust him from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I go, and I'm sitting there looking at him thinking, oh, wow, our relationship's been over since the day I met you.
Oh.
Like, you Dumbo. No girl is sitting around going, I trust my husband every day. He could hang out with any hot girl he wants because I trust him. Like, come on.
Wow. I would have had the exact same response your husband had.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what
Every
I
guy
was like.
does.
She probably, that probably relationship was probably already over.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not true. It's
Not
just,
true.
It's just you get curious or something or, I mean, like, I mean, look.
How long have you been married for?
Oh my God, 15 years.
And still you're going through the guy's phone?
I can't get into his phone.
Okay.
Because of the face recognition.
Face recognition has saved some relationships by now. You're right.
But like, I don't think, look, if my husband was trying to hide something from me, I'm sure I would figure, I could read that he was, and I would find it. I would figure it out. But he definitely has not. And yeah, I mean, I have Ring cameras in my house for crime and for curiosity.
That's true. That's true. You're the neighborhood narc.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll know. That's so crazy. But also, what's interesting is you seem to embrace crazy. Like you call yourself crazy.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm crazy. I think when we were on a show and I brought you up and you were like, tell them this is the craziest girl, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
You want me to say that, Betsy? You're like, oh yeah. Say that. Like I have been in relationships with women where you mention crazy and they get pissed. You seem to chuckle at it.
It's funny because people look at crazy. People are always like, oh my God, she's crazy. She's crazy. And I'm like, please call me crazy. Because I really,
you want to be crazy.
No offense taken. That's fine. I'm crazy because of your breed. Like your breed has driven me crazy. So I'm fine. I really don't care. I don't even care. I'm like, whatever. But I do know a lot of women are very upset about being called crazy.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, well, I don't even want to give my bit away.
This is a whole bit.
Comedy bit. I have a whole reason why we are, and it's because how we grew up.
Yeah.
Like, we were supposed to run from you if you stopped your car and said, hey, or offered us candy because
that was
you
my
could
move back then.
rape us or hurt us or this. And
Hit you over the
then we
head.
were supposed to marry you because we needed to have kids with you. It was like we were given mixed signals.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You get everybody gets a lot of mixed signals, but I would say women get a lot of them.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of women on women competition too that goes on. That's really tough. I had a cousin who was my age, and just like the stories she would have with her friends, like, are we the same age? You sound like you're 27 years old. I'm 17.
Yeah, women
of your
always
experience.
read way more into everything. Like,
True.
if I have a fight, I'll be up all night thinking about every single. I can't sleep, and he's like,
Yeah. Well, like, it seems like your crazy never like manifests itself in your day to day though. Like, I wouldn't say you are like neurotic or difficult to converse with.
No.
Yeah. So it seems like you've really compartmentalized your neuroses.
I'm so busy. I'm so busy all the time.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm so
you keep yourself
busy.
busy.
And I love my husband. You just know that things could happen. So you should probably be one step ahead is all I'm saying.
What would it be like if you ever had a kid? Like, what if you had a girl?
I would be, listen,
Would you
I'm
turn
not
into your
proud
mom?
of it. I would be the mom that was going through her phone. Wouldn't you?
I might be a helicopter dad.
Yeah.
If I had like a daughter, forget about it. I would be overprotective.
Yeah.
I think a son I could deal with. But
I
yeah,
don't
I
think
don't
I
even
could
like
deal
to
with
think
any
about
of
it.
it. I don't-
My brother has a daughter, and he was like, yeah, it's a total night and day.
Yeah.
I'm a pushover with the daughter. The son, I'm strict. I could see it being
You
difficult.
have to worry all the time.
I'll
You
be
have to
worried.
be like, what if
I think I might be a worrier.
What if this guy does this to her? What if this guy does that?
Right.
Let me go through. Is she DMing anybody's DMing her on Instagram? What is going on? Let me get in this account. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I would be like that. I'm crazy.
You think it would come out more?
It would come out more. I would never sleep. It's why I don't have kids. I would never sleep. I couldn't handle it. I wouldn't leave them alone for a second. I'd be like, I'm going to college with you. I've never been. We're going to go together.
Yes. Go to college with your kid. That's genius.
Yeah.
Install Ring video doorbell on their dorm room door. Thank God that didn't exist when I was in college in the late 90s, early 2000s, because my mom would have installed one or something. And then I would have had to secretly taken it down somehow.
We would not have had a life at all if you think about it. That's why these kids are so different today.
I know.
Because they don't have any of that. Like now you have to answer your mom's phone call. Remember, it would be like if you didn't have a cell phone when you were a kid.
Yep. That's true. That's true.
We got in a lot of trouble.
We could get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day with a little creative lie, you were good.
Yeah.
Some kids were great at it. Some kids sucked at it. And then everyone else was in between. But everybody had that strategy of some way to get out of curfew or go sleep over somewhere or do something like go to the concert you weren't supposed to go to. There was a way.
There was a way.
There's no way.
Always a way.
Anymore.
Yeah.
So you're doing comedy, but like I watch all your videos and stuff on there. I think you do more stuff than just comedy too, because you're doing the acting and stuff like that. What do you think would be like an ideal like project for you? Do you see yourself being a host of something? Because I see like host, like you could be a Bravo host in my head. You know? That's what I say. What do you see yourself doing? Or what would you like to do in the entertainment world? Is it that specific for you?
I don't know. You know, it'd be interesting. I would love, I mean, obviously stand up I want to do. I think probably my dream project would be to have someone else make something that I write. And sit back and watch and be like, that would be like my dream. And
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't really, the more like, I don't need to be like, I don't know. It's weird. I love acting, and I wouldn't even put myself down as an actress because I don't. I think, you know, I mean, I had a, like I was fun, but or say, you know, it's just hard to do acting because it's like it's a lot about like credits and like do more co-stars and we'll bring you in for this. It's like you're
trying so hard to be chosen.
And it's like 600 people are auditioning for the same thing. And it's like, what? And they're like, but it's only when that one person walks in, we know it's them. It's like, oh my God. Okay. I got to go.
It's mental warfare.
Yeah.
Have you ever done this where you're going to the audition and you're not sure which building it is? So you just look for the person who looks like you and you follow them? I did that.
The 800 other blonde hair, blue eyed girls.
I go look for the other dark haired guy. I'm like, hey, you look like me. Are you going to such an audition? All right, I'm going to follow you.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going.
It's so funny. Yeah, that
It
is. It is. Yeah, totally. You know, you have to. Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
Because it's just like you realize there are 1,000 people that look just like you submitting a headshot that's very similar to yours for the same job.
Yeah, to read 4 lines.
Yeah. Or sometimes just one. What about one?
Yeah.
What about when you go, did you want another beer? And walk off. It's like, did I just drive in 3 hours of traffic to
Yes,
ask?
I would like another beer. Oh, that was the audition? Sorry. So strange.
It's
Always something unique or weird happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now it's like I want to do some other part of it. But for me, I would love to go to Italy for a month and write something cool, you know, or like whatever, you know.
Could do that.
That's really like my dream is just to create stuff for people who are phenomenal and have made it, you know, like have done well. So,
I see. Yeah. I see it in there. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're coming back around the clubs and mics and shows again.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like you just have to go, if you want to be good at stand up, you have to do stand up. It's good you're coming around again, Betsy.
Yeah, I'm excited to be around.
I'm glad. Well, I have a movie game for you.
Okay.
I end every interview with the Rotten Tomatoes head-to-head game. However, I have a specific theme for you.
Okay.
The theme for your Rotten Tomatoes head-to-head game is movies featuring a crazy spouse. So the way the game works is I'm going to read you a description, and when you think you know the title of the movie, you yell it out. You can get a point that way.
Okay.
And then we're going to take those 2 movies, and you're going to try and guess which one has the higher Rotten Tomatoes score between the 2. Okay, I got 3 rounds for you. So here we go. Here's the first one. These are movies featuring a crazy spouse.
Okay.
You sound a little nervous. Okay, here's number 1. After faking her own death to flee her violent husband, a woman leaves Cape Cod.
I already know it. The movie with Ben Affleck. What was it? Gone Baby. Was it Gone Baby?
Are you good? I have more description.
Okay. Okay.
I can keep reading.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, well, let's start again. After faking her own death to flee her violent husband, a woman leaves Cape Cod. She adopts a new identity. Wow. Meanwhile, the husband unearths evidence suggesting she isn't dead. He tracks her to Iowa, forcing her to once again fight for her life.
That wasn't the one I was thinking of. What is that? It's not Cape Fear. I didn't see Cape Fear, though. I knew it was something crazy. What is it? I don't know.
Don't know?
No.
From 1991, the movie is Sleeping with the Enemy. Did you ever see this movie?
Oh my God. Was it Julia Roberts?
Julia Roberts.
Oh my God.
Has the crazy husband.
Yeah.
She has to fake her own death and run away.
That's right.
This was a big movie in the Ramirez circle, the Ramirez ladies.
Wasn't it? It was after Pretty Woman.
This was her movie after Pretty Woman. So
you're
kind of like, what's this new thing coming out? I don't care. Let's go see it.
Wouldn't even remember it. It was so long ago.
1991.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Sleeping with the Enemy. Next movie. Yell it out when you know it. A woman is driven mad with rage. Posing as a nanny for a family, her plan is to tear the family apart, seduce the husband, and eventually murder the woman, who she blames for ruining her life.
What was this? She was breastfeeding the baby. It was Rock the Cradle, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
From 1992, the movie is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. You got it. Crazy.
I can't believe I remembered that.
All right, you're on the board.
Okay.
Crazy Rebecca Dormornay. Babysitting. All right. So, by the way, this was one of the movies that just the cover of the videotape at Blockbuster scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
She's looking at it all scary and there's a slash. And I was like, what is that?
Whenever there's a psycho woman around, you should be scared, right?
I'm scared.
'Cause women are crazier than men.
That movie scared me. I'm glad I didn't see that movie in 1992. 12-year-old Pat Ramirez would have been very scared.
Yeah.
All right, so your movies are Sleeping with the Enemy versus The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Which one has the higher Rotten Tomatoes score, do you think?
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, I think. But I maybe not, because Julia Roberts was such a good actress. But if you're asking, look at which one I remembered. So,
Okay.
I would say The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, but people love Julia Roberts, so maybe that's a winner and I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm going to need a final answer.
Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Sleeping with the Enemy is 22%. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, 65%.
No.
You got it. 2 points on that round. Okay, I think you got a hang of the game now. Here we go. Let's see how you do here. A young engaged couple shakily introduce their future in-laws. The groom attempts to hide that his father is a gay Miami drag club owner and pretends to be straight. The bride's father is a controversial from 1996. The movie is The Birdcage. 3.
That movie. I've been recently.
I saw that movie in the theater with my mom too.
Oh my God, I didn't see it.
I've
seen it as an adult. I watch it quite often now. I'm obsessed.
There's a lot of heart in that movie. There's dramatic scenes in it. Hank Azaria's walking around with makeup on.
So good.
Low-key, sneaky Robin Williams performance.
Yeah.
In that movie too. The Birdcage. I might need to revisit that movie.
So good.
All right, next movie. You're on a roll.
Oh boy.
A happy New York lawyer with a wife and child has a casual fling with a sultry book editor, and everything changes. The jilted lover becomes unstable, her behavior escalating from aggressive pursuit to obsessive stalking. The lawyer
Michael Douglas and what is her name? Oh shoot, I can't think of the name of the movie. It's Michael Douglas. She boils the rabbit.
I can't give you any.
It is. What's
Betsy,
the
I'm gonna
name
need an
of
answer.
the movie? Not
Crazy spouse is the theme of this game. We got a New York lawyer.
Something affair. It was
sultry book
it was
editor.
Michael Douglas and what's her name? Oh, she's Glenn. No, Glenn Close. Yeah.
You're looking at me for answers. I can't give you any answers. I am the impartial judge here.
Am I wrong? It was this. Oh shoot, I cannot think of the name of it. What is wrong with me? It's
Come
like
on,
the
it's
best
right there.
movie.
It's
It's
right
right
there.
there. I give up. Just say it. It's killing me. I can't.
From 1987, the movie is Fatal Attraction,
Fatal
Betsy.
Attraction!
Come on.
Fatal Attraction. It's so good. Okay, that was a crazy movie.
That is a
when
crazy
she
movie.
came alive from the bathtub. Ooh.
Bathtub, rabbit, perm. Women
white-
with perm scare me.
The
that
wife
was a-
shot her ass.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember
right.
she came in the bathroom.
That
Boom,
was
boom.
that was an odd stick by your man moment. We're like, I'm
Well-
gonna shoot your mistress.
Yeah.
Weird. I wonder if women had a problem with that.
Yeah.
Maybe not in 1987. Maybe they did.
Remember,
Odd
it was
ending.
like the happy
Like you could tell a
ending.
dude wrote this movie.
She was good to her husband after. It was like, oh, really? You put us through all of this shit and had some bitch boil
Yeah.
a rabbit?
You're banging her in a loft.
I'd have shot them both. Sorry.
Fatal Attraction
Or I
2.
would have written the ending like that.
Fatal Reattraction.
Yeah.
Wow. Is Michael Douglas an attractive man? Like, look at Michael Douglas's run. Fatal Attraction, Black Rain, Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
He's like this like male desirable guy. And I'm like, isn't he like 55 years old? He's like hitting on 32-year-old Sharon Stone. Is this guy attractive?
Isn't that what's happening every day in LA?
I think you just answered for me.
Isn't that just like what's happening? Oh, is that your dad? Oh, no, your boyfriend. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Michael Douglas. Did you ever see Disclosure? That was another one where like young Demi Moore's like all about him. I'm like, is it Michael Douglas?
Yeah.
His pants are up to his chest.
It's like Robert Redford, too. Like,
Redford's
remember?
another
Yeah,
one like that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. All right. The game is getting harder. Birdcage versus Fatal Attraction. Which one has the higher Rotten Tomatoes score?
I would say Fatal Attraction, but I think Birdcage was the best movie ever, but I do think Fatal Attraction did because
Okay.
it was like the craziest movie of that time.
Really kicked off. Did Fatal Attraction start the Lifetime channel? Was
I
that the
feel like it
impetus for the
did.
Lifetime
I
channel?
feel like it broke the wall. Like it was like broke boundaries.
It might
I
have.
mean, it was
1987.
Yeah.
And then this was like the era of the made-for-TV movie, too, where like Sunday night, a woman scorned. And you're like, can we watch that, Mom? Nah, you're going to bed. This could have been the start.
Yeah.
All right. So you're sticking with Fatal
Yeah.
Attraction.
I'm gonna stick.
The Birdcage is 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Fatal Attraction, 75.
I lost. I figured
You're
well, the
still at 3.
Birdcage was like a different type of acting. Like
Tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
Tough matchup there. Okay, final round. You got 3 points.
Oh, boy.
Let's see if you can bring it home.
Let's see. Probably not.
A New York-based writer and his glamorous wife present a portrait of a blissful marriage. However, when the wife goes missing, the husband becomes the prime suspect. Resulting police pressure and media frenzy lead to tantalizing questions about who these people really are.
It's the Ben Affleck. Because she was a writer. Her family was a writer. They did. What was that?
Come on, pull it out.
I can't think of the name of it. Oh my God. Is it gone? It's not Gone Baby Gone. That's with Ben Affleck's brother. It's what is wrong? I cannot think of the name of this movie.
Come on,
It
it's
was
right there.
so good. I saw it 2 times in the theater, I think. Oh my God, I loved it. It's a book. It's a book. Arr! Okay, just say it. I lost.
God, you're so close. From 2014, Gone Girl.
Gone Girl. Gone Girl.
Gone Girl, Betsy.
Gone Girl.
Crazy Rosamund Pike in that movie.
She's so good.
She was good in that movie.
She was good in the movie she did during
Scary.
the pandemic where she was like, what was it, the nurse movie?
I didn't see that one. She creeps me out though.
She's creepy in it.
Even
It was
in
so
Jack,
good.
she's in Jack Reacher. And I was like, is this girl a bad actress or a very good? I couldn't figure it out.
She's a good at being bad.
She's good at being bad.
Yeah.
Also, you know what's weird about Gone Girl is Tyler Perry's in it. He's the
even notice
lawyer.
that. Oh my God.
He's the lawyer who
so
defends Ben Affleck. And he's pretty good. You're like, why don't you just do this? Like, you don't need to make any more Medea movies.
you know,
Be a
the
good
whole
actor.
world, people would die if he didn't make those Medea
true.
movies.
Yeah,
It's
he's no
hard.
dummy.
Yeah. People would die. People love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Gone Girl. Freaky movie.
Freaky movie.
As weird as that movie is, the weirdest thing of that movie is Neil Patrick Harris is like the guy who like Rosamund Pike goes to. I'm like, I'm not buying Neil Patrick Harris as this smooth guy laying it down with women. Did you? Did it work for you?
I don't think he did. She was using him because
She was using him.
he was obsessed with her.
Yeah, that's true. She was using
And then
him.
he made it like he raped her and she killed him. He was
She
like,
kills him. Pretty nasty
yeah.
killing scene.
yeah,
You're right. Neil
It
Patrick
was
Harris.
insane. That movie was so freaking insane.
I do like it though.
Damn.
Ben Affleck is a horrible guy too. It's one of those movies where the two leads are horrible people. I
Yeah.
didn't think that movie would work.
But what makes it work is that they're stuck together. Like they can't, like now it's just like,
Made me so uneasy.
yeah. It's
I like the
so
sister.
good.
Ben Affleck's sister was a good character.
Yeah, I liked her too. She was sweet.
Bring it back around. Last one, or last description. Here we go. On his way to Vienna, an American student convinces a woman to get off the train with him. Since his flight to the U.S. doesn't depart till the next morning and he has no money, they wander the city together. As the night progresses, their bond makes separating in the morning a difficult choice.
I didn't see that. I have no idea.
Ringing a bell at all?
No.
This is a tough one.
Huh.
No clue, huh?
No.
From 1995, the movie is Before Sunrise.
I never saw it.
Never saw it?
Wow, no.
It's like a whole series. It's Before Sunrise,
Really?
Before Midnight. Yeah, Ethan Hawke
I love
schmoozes
Ethan
this
Hawke.
girl, and they like have a night, and then they have to decide if they like are gonna get. I think the movie ends with like you don't find out.
Oh,
Like,
really?
It just kind of ends, and you have to wait to the sequel. I think this one came and gone. And I watched it like as an adult, and it's like the ultimate like. I'll go to Europe and find some hot chicks to talk to. And I think same like from the female perspective too is like I'll be in Europe and some charming guy will find me too.
Yeah, everybody thinks that.
Everybody thinks that, right? Like I'll just go to Dave and Buster's. All right, so your movies are Gone Girl versus Before Sunrise.
I have to go with Gone Girl because I saw that one and it was so crazy.
Gone Girl, final answer. Gone Girl is 88%. Before Sunrise, 100%.
I'm a loser.
Critics
I told
love
you.
Before Sunrise.
What did I say? I like bad movies.
That's true.
I like bad. I told
That's
you.
true.
I told
Well,
you.
I have seen both these movies. If you were to say, what do you want to watch? I was like, let's put on Gone Girl. That movie's fucking nuts. Let's watch that movie. That's fucking crazy.
Maybe Rotten Tomatoes just got a little bit tougher.
Mm-hmm.
And this is but I like bad movies. See?
That's true. That's true. I do too. Well, Betsy, we're going to see you on the comedy scene again. You're at Blingin' Betsy Comedy on Instagram. Betsy, let's go stalk your husband.
Okay. We have to try far to get there today, but yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Thanks, Betsy.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that is it. That is the show that is running it back for this week. That was Betsy Cox in studio. I thought that was a great talk. Learned a lot. Divulged a lot. Hey, and if you want to go check her out on her stuff, go find her. She said Bling and Betsy Comedy. She's got stuff up there as well. Don't forget, if you want to see me doing live stand-up comedy April 22nd, 9 p.m. at the Sanctuary in Pasadena, 1498. Fair Oaks. I'm hosting a great comedy show. You should come and check it out. Let me know you're coming as well. So, what have we learned today? We learned that Betsy worked at Hooters. We learned that comedy's really tough. And also, we learned that Betsy can be a crazy wife and still function in society. I think that's what we learned. Like I said, I thought it was a great talk. We're going to see her around a lot more. And that live studio interview, how can you beat it? Face-to-face conversation. If you like my running back interviews and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. The channel's growing. Be a part of it. There's more stuff going up all the time as well. I got a special little plan coming up in the next couple weeks as well. I think you're going to find pretty cool. Not to mention, we're going to do a rundown of all my stand-up comedy shows too. So, thank you for listening, everybody. I want to thank Betsy Cox for joining me. And for me, Patrick Ramirez, and running it back, I will see you next time.